I think where we left off was exactly right here with me talking about how I was having some caliper issues, and I ended up resolving that little problem by buying a new caliper, and it looks really nice. Yeah, those pins were like crazy. I couldn't get them out, but now we got this new one. It looks really good, so I'm just gonna put the wheel back on. Yeah, no, we're making some progress. Got a new one on this side, and we have the new rotor as well, and the old caliper. This caliper was fine. So the next step that I'll be doing actually is I'm gonna be bleeding my brakes. Hey guys, so I'm back here. It's a couple days later. I'm just changing out the rear rotors and the brake pads now. See, the thing with the rear wheels is that, first of all, they don't turn. So with the front wheels, where you could like turn the wheel all the way so you could get really good access to the hardware holding in the caliper, you can't do that on the rear wheels. That makes it really hard to get these bolts out when you're working in this like confined area, but I got it. Yeah, no, this looks terrible. Damn. That's why there's so much noise. Okay, I had to break my cool transition sequence because I feel like whenever I'm painting my wheels, Def Leppard is playing on the radio. And I think that's really funny. Anyway. Hey guys, so I think we're at the point where I can actually start building out the inside of this van. I finished a bunch of the mechanical stuff that needed to get done, like replacing the rotors, replacing the brake pads. I replaced the caliper because I had some issues with that. Fixed the rust. There's still a couple more things that I'd like to do mechanically. Like I want to work on the suspension, but for now I'm just going to table that stuff because I really want to start building it out. So it's cleaned out right now. And I have a couple of ideas. I'm putting my bed here. I'm gonna put a cabinet up right in the front. I think I'm gonna have to cover up this window and that window, the two rear windows. Unfortunately, I don't really want to do that, but just in terms of insulation and privacy, I want to cover it up. I'm gonna leave the front windows open because those two windows actually open. And I want to be able to get a cross ventilation going. I'm also getting a fan, which will come in soon, so that'll help really just circulate the air. Okay, so we got the rug out. The floor looks pretty good except for someone's craft job fuel pump replacement. Kind of lame. There's like a couple little rust spots, so I'm just gonna sand them down really quickly, and then I'm gonna rinse off the whole floor and start putting in the insulation and the framing. Okay, so right now I'm working on the flooring. What I did was I put the carpet that I took out of there, I traced around the profile of the sidewalls, and so I'm gonna jigsaw these out, and then I'm gonna stain this and let it sit while I go do some other stuff in there. Okay, I have the profile cut out, and what I'm gonna do now is just route it and round some of the edges. Okay, so we're all cut down. The edges are rounded. And now I'm gonna put this clear top coat on just to make it really shiny and also scratch resistant. The speakers in the back still work. I want to be able to incorporate them into the new walls that I put in. So what I did was I disassembled it and I labeled the wire and I labeled all of the stuff that I took off so that hopefully I'll be able to just build it in. So right now I'm just laying out these pieces, which I'm gonna liquid nails to the floor of the car. The reason I'm not screwing them in is because I don't wanna, you know, screw through the floor of the car. Oh yeah, so I think I remember mentioning before that this crackhead job of a fuel pump replacement left me with a hole in the floor. So my solution is that I cut this little piece out. Oh, so I treated the edge of this for rust already, so we're good on that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna also liquid nails this down, and then I'm going to weatherproof it with silicone just all around the perimeter. So essentially we have the insulation on the floor done. I'm gonna probably come through with foil tape and just tape up the gaps, but yeah, right now it's just getting weighted down. I'm super excited to put this floor in. It looks so good. Alright, so we're just taking these sandbags off. I weighted it down while the glue is drying, and then we can put the floor in.
George and Carol from East 31st Street.
Okay, so I got the cross beams up, and now I'm gonna start cutting out some of the planking for the ceiling just to get a feel for the sizing and everything. I still have to wait for the fan, so I can't do all of it, but I'm gonna try to do like the outside edges. So the plan for today is to install the fan up here, which is gonna be interesting because I wanna put it where this thing is, so I'm gonna have to move it. And what I've done is marked off a 14 by 14 inch hole that I'm gonna cut, and I'm going to drill out the 4 corners and then go onto the roof and jigsaw it out. Okay, so damn. We need to find a new camera guy. This one sucks. So anyway, what we're doing is basically I cleaned off the roof where I'm attaching this with just soap and water. And then I put a layer of just this stuff. I mean, it just helps fill in whatever gaps it may be because I'm trying to weatherproof it. Then I put a perimeter of silicone as well. And right now I'm just screwing it in. And what I did beneath this, I put wood framing around the perimeter as well, so that as I'm screwing in these screws, it's not just going into the metal, it's going into wood. All right, so the final step to this is I'm going to put silicone over all of these screw heads, and then I'm gonna put a thick bead around the entire perimeter just to like extra secure it. Okay, so yeah, what I was saying before was that I put wood frame around the fan on the inside so that the screws from the top could sink into some that's just gonna make it really strong. And now I'm just finishing putting these boards up. I got all the long ones now, I just have to cut some of the short ones, but that's kind of what's happening right now. Yay. So we got this old light in. I kept the light that came with the car just cause, but I also installed these little lights that I'm gonna be hooking up to my Leisure battery. So this morning I've just been spending a little bit of time, I'll show you. Okay, running the wires from my LED lights right here, and my fan, which are right here. I've just been kind of routing them to where I'm gonna put the battery, which is here. So something that I've been doing with this van is I've been selectively choosing which parts of the original van stuff to keep in, because, you know, these parts are formed to fit into these like weird shaped areas, and it's hard to neatly build around that. I'm just keeping some of the old plastic, like this thing that goes around the door slider. I'm keeping this, and I'm kind of building around it just to keep it neat, and also because I really don't want to risk messing up this whole slider thing. Over here it's interesting because I'm keeping this whole section, but I'm building a cabinet out from it, so when I open the cabinet I'll actually have like these little storage things, which I don't even know if I'll use. Under the bed, so what I did was I cut this in half, and I'm gonna build the bed over it, so when I'm under the bed there's storage. Like for instance, this is where the emergency like changing tire stuff is, and it's convenient because it's already like a compartment. Over here I did the same, I cut off the top half, but I still, you know, maintain like these little cubbies, which I kind of like that. And down here a little outlet, which I don't want to mess up. Okay, I'm gonna stop today. Bed frame is built. I had to, you know, go around this area, but when I cut the plywood top, I'm gonna like go along the profile. And this area is where I'm gonna house the battery. I was talking about it earlier. So it's gonna be a little cabinet basically. Okay, so I'm moving on to the bed, like the top of it, and so what I'm doing is I'm making stencils. I already did it on this half, but yeah, I pretty much just cut a piece of cardboard, and it's kind of tedious, but you just kind of line it up, trim away, and push it until it works, and then you trace it onto plywood and jigsaw it out. So I'll show you. So here's the stencil. So you want to lay it out so the ends are flush with each other, and then you basically just trace along your stencil, and then you have a cutout line, and supposedly it should fit. Moment of truth. I just spent some time making this cabinet. I have to put the top on and I have to cut out doors for it. Well, we're 80% done with the building. We're 60% done with, you know, getting road ready, because there's still a lot of little things that I have to do. This is what we have so far. I made this cabinet, not finished at all. Also doesn't like to say shut. I put a shelf on that half. I can also open the windows. So that's pretty fun. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's the captain's seat and everything. It's not actually a captain's chair, it doesn't swivel. But yeah, this is like the whole setup. Kind of exciting stuff. Almost ready. This is where I'm gonna have the battery. It opens. Yeah, awesome.